Live now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Inappropriate Movie Database, the comedy game show about content warnings. I'm your host, Nick Martucci. As always, thank you so much for clicking whatever link led you to this video. I'm so happy you're here. If this is your first time here, you should go ahead and subscribe to this channel. This is episode 71 of this show. That means that there are over 3 solid days of the show available for you to just kind of throw on in the background. Most of it's pretty fun. So yeah, if you like what you see here, please stick around, watch more. There's so much more. Also, maybe be a part of it. The show is now on Instagram and Twitter at IMDb Game. So if you're on either or both of those services, go ahead and follow there. Also join the Facebook group if you search Inappropriate Movie Database or click the link in the description of this video. That's like the community. That is where, for the most part, I book this show. So if you're watching this and you've never been on and you think this looks fun, please reach out to me. I'd love to have you on the show. We have a couple more spaces. I think only one more space left this March. So if you're around next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, that would be your last chance to be on the show in March. But we're going to keep doing this Mondays usually. Just going to skip next Monday. Just a heads up. Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're always doing the show. I love having new people on. We have a new face today and some returning favorites. Before I get to that theme tonight, I want to start announcing the theme before I get to the contestants, because there's always themes now. Theme tonight is IMDb's top 250 movies. That is a real wild, not great list, is what I found doing research for this episode. It's a lot. It's all based on user ratings. With some sort of other science involved, because at one point, The Godfather was like the #1 movie of all time for years. And then The Dark Knight came out, and like that weekend was the #1 movie of all time, according to IMDb. So they changed everything about how they rate movies. So anyway, there's going to be some weird, not great movies that are coming up tonight. But what you need to understand is that mathematically, these are the best movies of all time. Let's see if that helps the players. Let's bring them in. Joining me on tonight's show are George Newton, Jere Pilapil, Liz Estey, and Lloyd Legacy Sharp. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Let's start off with first-time guest on the show. Like I said, I love seeing new faces. He is he's a comedian. He hosts a monthly show, I believe, in Worcester, Massachusetts, called Stand Up at the Ship. George Newton is on the show. Hey, George.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. I got all that right, correct?
Correct, yep.
All right. Normally, I'm real shitty introducing my guests, so I want to make sure that I'm better at that now. Thank you for coming on the show. I don't know too much about your knowledge of movies. Are you like a movie fan?
I try to be. I have 2 kids, so I don't see a lot of movies anymore, but
That'll do it.
I mostly came on the show because I respect Lloyd Legacy Sharp so much, and I'm looking forward to crushing him.
Oh, I'm so happy. I can't wait to see how you do against him. Well, he's mentioned now, so we should bring him in. Legend on the show, legend in comedy. This is his 14th time on the show, I believe. He's coming in fresh off his high score of 6 in his last episode. Lloyd Legacy Sharp back on the show. Hey, Lloyd.
Hi.
How you doing tonight?
You know, I feel like I helped initiate a new guest on the show, so that's probably going to be my best contribution to date, other than dropping Natalie Imbruglia's name the last time me and Liz did this together.
That is true.
And it was beautiful.
Perfect moment. That was Superheroes, I believe, which was like I don't know, 10 episodes ago. Go look for that one. Liz and Lloyd were both on that one, and that was so much fun. Well, Lloyd, welcome back. Always glad to see you. Also returning to the show, I believe this is number 10 for her. And I'm also hoping that she does not currently have orange in her mouth. Liz Estey is in the show. Hey, Liz.
Hey, Nick.
Welcome
I
back.
see no orange in my mouth. I'm doing great.
Now, Liz also has the distinction, I'll keep talking it up, of being one of 3 people to ever host this show, myself included. Liz hosted rom-coms last month. That was so much fun, and you should go back. Again, once this is over, let this run, or play both. I think I get credit for both as views if you just want to have like a bunch of windows open, but watch it. It's fun. So Liz, you've hosted the game, you've played the game.
And it's still been highly variable performance. So goes to show.
How you feeling about this topic?
I honestly, I have no idea. I'm ready for a wild ride. I will say, just want to plug the movie The Worst Person in the World. It's a foreign film out now. Highly recommend. I saw it on a date. The date was bad, but the movie was good.
How did the date compare to the main character?
Worse. But like, because the main character is a woman, and even though she's shitty,
a shitty woman is usually better than a mediocre guy.
Yeah.
I mean, not always. We have some recent examples, but for the most part.
But it was just, I'm sorry. Look, I just have to tell this because I feel like I went crazy and I need confirmation that this is weird behavior.
Okay.
But like, this is a first date. So we got dinner, which was already like, the vibe was off. And then we went to the movie and I had my legs crossed in the movie theater. And at one point there was like a boppy song on in the background, and he took his foot and started pushing like my foot that was crossed over my leg, like to the beat. And like my body language could not have said, "Don't touch me," like any more clearly, you know? Like I was just like,
that sounds real bad.
Like, what a strange way to violate my personal space. I mean, like there are types of that thing that I'm ready for. That was not it was like he was tapping his toe on the floor, except the floor was my foot.
Oh no. Yeah, no, you're right. That's awful.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, so I
see that movie is what you're saying.
Yeah, the movie
and
is
don't
great.
see it with him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Couldn't be clearer.
Thanks for coming
I'm
back.
so sorry.
Liz.
I feel like every time I come on, I have a weird dating story.
Love to hear them. I mean, I hate that they keep happening, but
I don't like literally. One of my roommates is like, "Liz, how do you find these people?" I'm like, I wish
also
I
wonder
knew.
that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Don't
The
worry.
internet.
I'll just need a shower now. I'll be right back.
I'm so sorry, Lloyd. I didn't mean to traumatize you.
That's okay. You have that right.
Well, thank you. Also, returning to the show, he was here last week. He's here again. I love having him on the show. Jere Pilapil's back. Hey, Jere.
Hey, I just stayed in the room the whole week. That's
No, you just had to turn on the Zoom again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize that outfit.
Yeah.
Now, how are you? I feel like you might do pretty well in this category.
I have seen a lot of these movies, either seeing them or as posters on friends' dorms in college. Definitely.
That is very much the vibe of most of these films.
Yeah.
These are films that a 19-year-old guy will tell you are films.
I've been that guy.
Me
Better
too.
now, but I have been that guy.
No, I used to pay attention to this list a lot. In that I remember vividly the anger that came out when The Dark Knight took over the top spot.
I remember that too.
I used to use this as the list of movies I needed to see. And again, if you go through this list today, maybe some of these movies will come up. I don't want to spoil anything on the list, but they're not good. Like, they're not even a little good.
I would say a lot of them are good, but like as a top 250, they are not the ones that I would put for sure.
You got to see where some of them fall.
Yeah.
There are movies that are legitimately some of the best movies of all time that are at like 200.
Yeah.
But again, I don't want to give anything away, so I think I really should just jump into this game. Thank you all for being here. Again, if this is your first time watching, and also for George's benefit, here's what's going to happen tonight. I have gone to IMDb, those letters that I keep saying, the Internet Movie Database, and I have pulled parental warnings for way too many movies. These warnings are written by anonymous weirdos. I'll never know who they are or why they do what they do. I think their intentions are good, but oh my God, the choices they make. You'll see. You'll see what happens with this. Anyway, I have pulled these warnings. My friends here are going to try to figure out what movie these content warnings are from. So unless there's any questions, I think it's time to just jump into this game. And to do that, George, your first time on the show. I'm going to go to you first. It's going to be up to you to pick a year for our first movie. Would you like a movie from 1942, 1995, or 2007?
95.
95. All right, this is our first movie of the night in the IMDb Top 250 from 1995 for 5 points under the category of violence and gore. Although nearly all the violence is off screen, its description is incredibly detailed and graphic. All right, for 4 points under the category of sex and nudity, a character says, quote, masturbating in your own feces. George has buzzed in. Nobody else wants to get in on this?
Not this
All
one,
right. George, do you know what this movie is?
That would be 7.
Number 19 of all time. This movie is 7.
Wow. You got that from that. Okay.
I will say very few movies from 1995 have that line in that.
The only reason I didn't guess is because I thought it was a later year.
Yeah, it came out a lot earlier than you think it did.
Yeah.
I honestly forget that it exists until someone says 7.
Well, here's the thing again to kind of lead you in the mindset of the people who vote on these. If the movie is directed by David Fincher, it's one of the 250 greatest movies of all time.
So this is based on opinion, not statistic.
Yes, very much so.
Well, it's statistic in the sense that it's a lot of people voting, but yes.
All right, well, just for fun, the other clues in this, under frightening and intense scenes, the film has an exceptionally dark theme, story, and tone. It challenges its characters and audiences morality by asking if there is any real value of human life in the modern world. Sex and nudity, lust is one of the deadly sins utilized by the killer. And violence and gore, a man admits to killing a pregnant woman by cutting her head off. The head is placed in a box, and the box is shown, but not the head.
Good Lord.
Well, first time on the show, first guess, already with 4 points. George is in the lead. Everybody else sits at 0. Jere, we're going to go to you.
Okay.
Would you like a movie from 1976, 1988, or 2015?
1976, please.
1976. All right, from 1976 for 5 points. Under Sex and Nudity, several scenes where prostitutes are seen in the streets. Nothing shown, it's just obvious that's what they are. I see George and Jere have both buzzed in. Anybody else? George, what movie do you think this is?
Taxi Driver?
Jere, what do you think?
I'm also saying Taxi Driver.
As far as movies that are hung up in dorm rooms, this is the 108th best movie of all time, Taxi Driver.
Bravo.
Other clues in Taxi Driver, under violence and gore, the film features intense violence, mostly in the last 20 minutes. Frightening and intense scenes, the depiction of a character's gradual mental instability may be disturbing to some. Sex and Nudity, a 12-year-old girl is a prostitute. It is heavily frowned upon by the main character and is portrayed negatively.
That's a way to describe that.
And under Sex and Nudity, a man says he has to clean semen out of the back of his taxi.
Could be anything.
It could be so many movies. It's probably that Queen Latifah, Jimmy Fallon movie, Taxi.
Oh my God. No.
That could be an Uber ride from New Hampshire last weekend.
Oh no, Lloyd. You took an Uber from New Hampshire?
What was that? $400?
Not mine, just it could happen.
Well, George, you're now still in the lead, much higher at 9 points. Jere at 5, Liz and Lloyd at 0.
Oh yeah.
Liz, would
great.
you like a movie from 1965, 1990, or 2012?
2012, my favorite Roland Emmerich film.
All right, this movie from
Moonfall. It's fucking great. It's so dumb.
If there is a God, that movie will not be on this ranking.
I just had to plug it because it's so dumb.
This movie from 2012 for 5 points. Under violence and gore, several kidnappings occur with pistol whipping that leaves men with bloody foreheads and scars.
Oh.
All right, for 4 points, under profanity, an angry man yells at a woman, quote, "You took my wallet. You took my wallet." It is implied that he is about to say the F word, but it is not heard at all.
Descriptive.
For 3 points, under violence and gore, the hero is told that he is missing all cartilage from both knees and elbows, and we see scars over his kidneys and other damage. All right, for 2 points, under frightening and intense scenes, the villain is powerful and kills constantly by breaking his victims' necks throughout the film, and his voice and appearance are frightening. A scene in which he breaks the hero's back is particularly disturbing. Let's see, Jere and Lloyd and Liz and George, everybody's up. All right, George, I'm gonna go to you first. What do you think?
Dark Knight Rises.
Liz, what do you think?
Me?
Liz.
Sorry. I sorry. I'm gonna say what is it? What did he call it? Like Zack Snyder's like Superman Grimdark.
Justice League.
I don't know. I can't remember what he called it.
Okay.
Sad boy Superman.
Party.
Jere, what do you think?
I have Dark Knight Rises.
Lloyd, what do you think?
Batman: The Dark Knight Rises.
It makes
Yeah.
way more sense, but once I decided I was going to guess that, I was like,
Unfortunately, it is not Zack Snyder's sad boy Superman breaks people's necks that one time. No, this movie, the 68th best movie of all time, The Dark Knight Rises.
God.
Although
the
now
other
now I need the cut. That is Zach. See, I didn't watch the Snyder cut because I don't have that much free time in my life. But if it was Zack Snyder's sad boy, whatever the fuck else, I'd watch that.
I actually have to say, I did watch the Snyder cut because it was, look, the pandemic's been hard. And I did spend 4 hours watching it, and it was better than the theatrical cut.
I fucking loved it. It was like a top 5 movie for me last year.
Too much emotion.
Is it better than The Dark Knight Rises?
Yes.
Really? Because only 67 movies ever made are better than The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. Also, the doctor who tells him he's missing all the cartilage from his knees and elbows is Tom Lennon. So that's just a fun little thing.
Oh yeah.
The other thing you need to know about this IMDb list, if the movie was made by Christopher Nolan, it's one of the top 250 best movies of all time. Final clue in that, under violence and gore, the villain wears an elaborate breathing mask that reduces the pain he suffers from injuries caused by prison beatings, which is shown several times in a flashback. At one point during one of these flashbacks, his face is bloodied and he is seated with a bloody scarf wrapped around his face several times, revealing only one of his eyes.
That's how you do it, Schumacher.
Dare you? Those films are a joy.
Yeah,
I want
delight.
more homoeroticism in superhero films.
You know who I realized should make a Batman movie after watching the trailers before the Batman? Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
That would
yeah.
be balls to the wall.
Yeah.
It would be much better than his Elvis movie that looks like he's trying to do a superhero movie.
Yeah, I can't. Also, what is Tom Hanks? Tom Hanks's accent changes like 5 times.
Oh yeah, no.
It's so jarring that the first voice you hear in an Elvis trailer is Tom Hanks doing like a Foghorn Leghorn impression. Like a German
villain's
Foghorn Leghorn
monologue in a Foghorn Leghorn. You watch that and you're like, oh, this guy won 2 Oscars. He is one of our greatest actors.
I thought he was playing Colonel Sanders when I first saw
it.
I am
George, you're
jealous that
now
you
at
got to
11.
see that trailer in theaters, though. I did not get that when I went to see the Batman.
Really?
No.
Well, George, you're at 11. Jere, you're at 7. Lloyd at 2. Liz at -1.
Second best high score ever.
That is true. You can only go up, Lloyd. That's not true. You can totally fall.
Yeah.
Don't jinx it.
Well, Lloyd, you get to pick this movie.
Oh,
Do
great.
you want a movie from 1992, 1994, or 2017?
Oh, 1994.
1994. From 1994, this movie, for 5 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, a man smokes cigarettes and drinks alcohol in several scenes. We see empty bottles of alcohol littered around his apartment.
My street in Dorchester at the time.
All right. For 4 points under violence and gore, some fistfights occur throughout the movie that result in bloody noses, black eyes, and other minor injuries. One such fight ensues from a man's violent reaction to a woman getting slapped across the face and knocked to the ground. George is buzzed in. Anybody else? George, what do you think this movie is?
I'm not as 100% sure right now, but I'm gonna just go with The Matrix.
It is not The Matrix. Little early for The Matrix.
It's still definitely resembling Blue Hole Avenue in 1994.
For 3 points under sex and nudity, a woman sings seated with a guitar in a strip club. She's naked. Her butt is visible.
Okay, that's not Blue Hole Avenue.
Jere has buzzed in. Anybody else? Liz has also buzzed in. Liz, what do you think this movie is?
Pulp Fiction.
Jere, what do you think this movie is?
This Forrest Gump.
This movie is not Pulp Fiction. It is, however, apropos to what we were talking about of Tom Hanks and his real fun Southern accents that he uses to win Oscars. This is the 11th greatest movie of all time, Forrest Gump.
Cool.
Rightly so. Rightly so.
I love ableism. That's the movie.
It is.
Bunch of fucking hacks voting in this goddamn. I'm out of here.
Like a level of problematic of Forrest Gump.
Oh, it's unwatchable, that movie.
Yeah.
So it's problematic in so many dimensions and like layers.
Yeah.
It's like if you're cool with the ableism, maybe you like the woman who's punished for being a woman, so she gets AIDS and dies, but not before she rapes the guy.
Like,
Also,
what?
Vietnam was correct.
Yeah.
The whole family.
Yeah.
If you're able to guess Forrest Gump based on those descriptions, then yeah, you deserve to get the point because I would have never gotten it unless they mentioned the chocolates.
No, it won the Oscar in 1994.
It did.
And a lot of movies came out in 1994.
Yeah.
A lot of movies on this list, so I don't really want to talk about them, but yeah.
I didn't see
11th
Forrest Gump
best
until
movie.
2 years later when my mother said, "Well, you're old enough, so fine," and that should have been telling.
What was she punishing you for, Lloyd?
Say that again.
Since she made Forrest Gump, what was she punishing you for?
I don't know. Being up past the streetlights in Dorchester. 94.
George, you're still in the lead, but now at 10 points. Jere right behind at 9. Lloyd at 2. Liz at -2. Also, the other clues in this, just for fun, under sex and nudity, the protagonist shows the president his buttocks. Rear male nudity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And frightening and intense scenes. A war scene in Vietnam is quite violent and has gunfire, explosions, and shouting. George, we're back up to you. Would you like a movie from 1926, 1931, or 1985?
I'm gonna go with 85.
All right. I was wondering what kind of guy you were, and you are very much like everyone else.
God,
Also, Josh
6.
Pick would like us to know that Forrest Gump rules.
He's wrong.
Come off the internet.
It happened. It was product of its time, but weird.
All right. This movie from 1985 for 5 points under sex and nudity. Some sexual references like, quote, "She's got the hots for me."
Can you remind me what year this is?
1985.
Okay. That didn't help.
For 4 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, the mother is originally shown as an alcoholic, drinking vodka around the dinner table with her family. It is very brief. For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, characters are in mild to moderate peril throughout. Some risk involved with ledges and things going wrong, but no one is ever harmed or put at serious risk. Jere has buzzed in. Anybody else? Jere, what do you think this movie is?
Could this be Back to the Future?
It's the 30th best movie of all time, and it's no Forrest Gump, but it is Back to the Future.
Oh man, I know it's on the internet, so it's got to be true. But I might put Back to the Future
Just a tiny bit higher.
Just me. I would. What do I know? I'm on the internet.
Honestly, the most fun.
That's the problem.
Yeah. That's the movie would have been a lot different if he went to the past of 1968. Other clues in that, under frightening and intense scenes, a character and relatives got spilled by manure. This may be disgusting for young viewers. And sex and nudity. The main character's young mother removing his pants off screen while he was unconscious after an accident, not serious. Not knowing that he is her son from the future, she flirts with him. This is played for humor. She later kisses him while parked in a car, and she describes it as, like I was kissing my brother.
I like that they have to stress that the accident was not serious. That was
He wasn't just mangled and bloody while his mother was undressing him while he was unconscious.
Should I call an ambulance? No, let me just strip him down.
This accident seems not serious.
I guess that would count for humor if you lived in Seabrook, New Hampshire.
A lot of New Hampshire references tonight, Lloyd.
I know.
I'm sorry you got traumatized in New Hampshire.
I am too.
Well, Jere, you have taken the lead now at 12 points. George at 10, Lloyd at 2, Liz at -2. Jere, would you like a movie from 1987, 1998, or 2018?
What was the first one?
87.
Let's do 87.
All right. A few years after Back to the Future. This movie from 1987 for 5 points under violence and gore. The violence in this film is very brutal and very harsh. The violence is not glorified.
Narrows it down.
For 4 points under profanity, most of the profanity is used in the first 40 minutes of the movie, where the bulk of one character's dialogue comes from. For 3 points under violence and gore, a man is shot in the chest by a sniper. He screams in agony. Blood is shown coming out of his mouth. He has trouble breathing, which causes him to die.
I would think so.
For 2 points under frightening and intense scenes, the dehumanization of soldiers is a key theme throughout the movie, being shown to varying degrees. Liz has buzzed in. Anybody else?
What year is this again?
1987.
87.
All right, Liz, what do you think this movie is? Oh, hold on, Jere, what do you think this movie is?
This Platoon?
Liz, what do you think?
Predator?
It is not Predator. It is also not Platoon. All right, for 1 point under profanity, the movie has some of the most liberal and creative usage of profanity ever in the first part of the movie by the senior drill instructor. I see everyone but Liz. George, what do you think this movie is?
Full Metal Jacket?
Lloyd, what do you think?
Full Metal Jacket.
Jere, what do you think?
Yeah, it's Full Metal Jacket.
Of course it's Full Metal Jacket.
It's a movie a bunch of men have told me to watch, and so I refuse to watch it.
Liz, I am so sorry. That is this whole episode.
I know. I know. I'm just getting slaughtered on the movies that I've refused to watch because the people I hate them have told me how good they are.
Welcome to the IMDb Top 250. This is where they got their movies.
To be fair, for your life in general, that's a more than reasonable reason to not have seen any of these movies.
Mhm.
For the show,
Yeah.
sucks.
I think this is a good
Thank you,
movie,
Lloyd.
but I'm pretty sure people recommend it for the wrong reasons.
Uh-huh. Full Metal Jacket, the 103rd best movie of all time.
It was either that or Jarhead, but I wasn't sure if Jarhead fit in the rankings.
All right. Liz, let's see if this can help you out. Would
It's
you like a
not.
movie from 1959, 1980, or 2014?
I mean, I guess 2014. Let's do it.
All right, let's do 2014.
Sure.
Thanks for the support, Lloyd.
2014 for 5 points. Under profanity, much of the language is used by one man who frequently swears, though the protagonist uses some too.
It's not helpful.
Oh, I'm sorry. 4 points. Under sex and nudity, no sex or nudity. Some sexual references made by a teacher and various students.
And now it just sounds like Life is Strange, the video game.
Okay, Jere, what do you think?
Wild Swing, super bad.
It is not super bad. All right, for 3 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, the only part in the movie with alcohol is a man drinking a little bit in a jazz bar.
I see.
For 2 points under violence and gore, a teacher throws objects, including a chair and a cymbal, and slaps the protagonist in the practice sessions.
Ooh.
See, Liz and Jere and George, Lloyd, nothing?
No, I'm not sure, so nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
all right. George, what do you think this movie is?
Whiplash?
Liz, what do you think?
Whiplash.
Jere, what do you think?
It was Whiplash, baby.
Wait till I tell you that Whiplash is the 44th best movie
No!
of all
Oh,
time,
fuck off!
according to IMDb.
So mad. I'm not surprised, but I'm so mad.
The 44th best movie.
Way these
Of
guys
all
cream their jeans over anything Damien Chazelle does.
Damien Chazelle, who makes his whole career of white guys telling you how important jazz is.
Yeah,
That's
the worst.
That's top 50.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
If this was the NBA, that movie would be in the same position with Michael Jordan. No.
Well, MJ's higher than 50.
Oh, Lloyd.
What a...
Movie in this list about jazz stars white people.
Yeah.
What I love is the next movie, La La Land, that has a scene of a man taking a woman to a jazz bar and then talking over the jazz to explain to her why jazz is good.
Or how
I'm convinced the movie he made after that was First Man with Ryan Gosling about Neil Armstrong, and I am convinced both of them thought they were doing a Louis Armstrong biopic. We have a tie in first place now. George and Jere both at 13, Lloyd at 3, Liz up to -1.
up to.
I'm not going to
Lloyd.
get on Louis Armstrong, but he's music, not movies.
Lloyd, would you like a movie from 1979, 1993, or 2007?
What I want is that list to be rewritten because it's bullshit, but because I can't do that, I'll take 1993.
Perfect. All right, from 1993, this movie. For 5 points under violence and gore, a woman slaps a man several times.
Oh, great. Great transition. Perfect fall.
Liz has buzzed in. Anybody else?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Bye, Lloyd. Liz, what do you think this movie is?
I'm taking a swing. Jurassic Park.
It is not Jurassic Park.
God damn it. That's like the only movie I know was released in 1990.
And she really should have been slapping more of those guys.
Like, I just wanted her to slap people.
For 4 points under violence and gore, a man punches another man. Comedic.
Better.
For 3 points under sex and nudity, brief mention of news report about sex and violence in movies.
In a movie?
In a movie. It's commentary.
Meta.
It's the fourth wall. Okay, sure.
All right, for 2 points under frightening and intense scenes, one of my favorites. The idea of dropping a toaster into a bathtub would be easy to copycat for curious individuals.
What?
Liz, what do you think this movie is?
Groundhog Day.
It is the 222nd best movie of all time, Groundhog Day.
Be higher.
Yeah.
Whiplash?
I mean, it's no Whiplash.
Yeah.
This one, I was like, wait, she actually does slap him. Thank God. You know,
Uh-huh.
It says a lot that I'm like, mild misandry. That's what I remember.
Final clue in that, under frightening and intense scenes, the entire premise of being forced to live one day of your life over and over again could be disturbing for some people, even though the film plays it in a somewhat comedic manner.
No! What's disturbing is that is beneath Whiplash!
That is beneath every movie we've mentioned so
Oh my
far.
God, Lloyd is gonna have a panic attack.
Lloyd, as a white person, let me explain jazz to you again.
It's not a wonderful world when this is the case.
George and Jere still tied at 13 each. Lloyd at 3. Liz has dug herself out of the hole and is now at 0.
Thank you. Thank you.
4 movies remaining. 1 more go around, 1 more for each of you. George, would you like a movie from 1986, 2006, or 2021?
2006.
2006. From 2006, for 5 points under profanity, some mild name calling, such as fool and stupid.
Yeah, like the guy who put Groundhog Day below Whiplash.
For 4 points under frightening and intense scenes, the movie could be described best as intense, serious, and grim.
Remind me of the year.
2006.
Jesus, they're all bad. I don't know.
For 3 points under violence and gore, a bird gets crushed quietly. We see its bloody, mutilated body later. At another point, a bird is smashed again. The camera cuts away just in time, but we see the blood splatter. For 2 points under violence and gore, the tone of this movie is serious, not comedic. 2 characters are dueling throughout the movie, sabotaging each other, often ending in serious injury. Some blood can be seen at times, but violent scenes are generally not gory or explicit. The movie is PG-13. All right, for 1 point, under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, two magicians stick messages to each other onto the bottom of glasses of beer. I see Jere and Liz. George, Lloyd, nothing? George is going to take a guess.
No.
No? Okay. George, what do you think this movie is?
Prestige?
Jere, what do you think?
The Prestige.
Liz, what do you think?
The Prestige.
As I said before, if it's a Christopher Nolan movie, then it might be the 42nd greatest movie of all time, The Prestige.
Oh, God.
Couple better than Whiplash.
42nd of all time. That's why
You're
we all
gonna
knew it
break
immediately.
Lloyd. You're really going to break Lloyd at this point.
George and Jere are still tied now at 14 each. Lloyd at 3, Liz at 1.
I love when Lloyd walks just to the other side of the room. Like he just
I don't
can't.
even think Lloyd's playing anymore. I think he's just processing.
All right. Jere, would you like a movie from 1972, 1993, or 2013?
Let's do 72.
72. All right, from 1972, for 5 points under frightening and intense scenes, the overall tone of the movie is very dark and depressing, especially during the latter half.
That does not help.
For 4 points under violence and gore, probably one of the only reasons it's R is for violence. But even for being a very violent movie, killings, shootings, bloodied wounds, it's not too graphic. There's more blood in some PG and PG-13 movies. For example, Jaws. Jere has buzzed in. Anybody else? Jere would. Oh, okay. Liz, what do you think?
The Godfather.
Jere, what do you think?
Is it The Deer Hunter?
It is not The Deer Hunter. It is the second best movie of all time, The Godfather.
Okay.
You okay with that one, Lloyd?
Lloyd's reactions are killing me.
Yeah.
I was going to jump out, and I'm not kidding. There's literally a window right there. I was going to jump if that movie was that good. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
You should cancel the game and just read the list to Lloyd. And broadcast that.
Oh, yeah. No, that could be a whole... I would love to just sit here for another 2 hours, just me and Lloyd, and go through this list. Well, we have 2 movies remaining. George, you have taken the lead now at 14. Jere at 13. Lloyd at 3. Liz, Liz got that one. So I should give her points for that.
So rude.
It's not rude. I just forgot to put down the point value on that one.
So I'll say, The Godfather, that's a film old enough that was part of my father's prescribed viewing for me as a young pop culture consumer.
Yeah, my father's an Italian immigrant. This movie was kind of forced.
My dad was a WASP, so it was not.
I have no personal connection, but my kids are going to watch it.
Yeah.
So Liz, I'm sorry you were in 3rd place with 5. Lloyd at 3. Technically, this is still anybody's game. There's still 10 points on the board. The other clues in The Godfather, under violence and gore, it is important to know that everybody who is harmed and or killed is also a criminal and is nowhere near innocent. This could take away from the violence if you think about it like that.
No, Oh, God. You know, I just can't. I can't.
Somebody used their no angels in the parental warnings of The Godfather.
They did. Oh my God.
Under profanity.
Entire series. I don't think the horse deserved to die for anybody.
I'm still stuck on the fact that they thought that there are PG films that are less violent than The Godfather.
I mean, Jaws for a PG movie is pretty bloody.
Yeah.
It is, but it's not. I mean,
And Bambi's parent did take a bullet, so you know.
Under profanity, mostly mild profanity, and the word vafanculo, which is used in which vafanculo is used. Vafanculo is used, which means F-U in Italian. And this is 1972, and F words were barely used back then.
But my grandmother would beg to differ.
And frightening and intense scenes. One very famous scene has a character waking up to find his bed full of blood, and while removing the sheet, he discovers the severed head of his stallion, which was an actual horse's head. He screams repeatedly in a very dramatic sequence.
And everybody deserved to die, including the stallion. I don't buy it.
The stallion was a criminal.
How do you know that?
He helped gangsters make money.
Well, this is going to be a fun selection of years. Jere, it's to you. Would you like a movie from 2019?
Didn't I pick the last one?
Did you pick? Oh yeah, this is to Liz. Liz, would you like a movie from 2019, 2020, or 2022?
Oh, 2022. Let's get chaotic.
I was hoping for this.
I mean, it's already chaotic, so I don't know why I said let's get chaotic.
All right, let's see what this does. This movie came out this year and is one of the top 250 best movies of all time. For 5 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, a man under the influence of alcohol or drugs is overly talkative. Jere has buzzed in. Nobody else wants to buzz in. This movie came out at some point in the last 3 months. I just see the two on the leaderboard. So let's see how this goes. George, what do you think this movie is?
Batman?
Jere, what do you think this movie is?
This is definitely the Batman.
Oh, God.
When I started doing this list 3 days ago, it was the 69th best movie of all time. I will say, as of this recording, It is the 82nd best movie of all time, The Batman.
It's about half a whiplash. Or double a whiplash.
God, unbelievable.
Because if I mentioned before, if a movie is made by David Fincher, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. And if it's made by Christopher Nolan, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. And if it rips off both of them, it's one of the greatest movies of all time.
Beneath Whiplash!
The
Is
other
Lloyd
clues...
mad that Whiplash is a better movie than Batman?
The other clues in The Batman, under profanity, a woman refers to people as, quote, privileged assholes. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking, part of the plot revolves around a fictitious drug business. A drug consists of drops placed in people's eyes. Violence and gore, the hero shoots a grapple hook through an attacker's leg and then hangs him from it. No blood in this scene. It is darkly lit, which makes it hard to see clearly.
Oh my God, Lloyd.
And under frightening and intense scenes, the villain is a very frightening killer. His costume resembles that of the Zodiac Killer. His presence is very menacing. We all know that the costume that the Zodiac Killer wore.
Okay, you know what? Mm-hmm. I haven't seen the entire movie yet. I'm actually assigned to it for Dave Valdella's podcast. So once I watch that, then I'll reassess how I feel about it being that far under Whiplash.
Look, Whiplash deserves to not be on the list. And I shouldn't have to explain that. And I know none of you need that explanation, but this is for the public. It shouldn't be on the list. And we all know that. Motherfucking Damien Chazelle. Well, sounds like a gazelle. I just get angry.
One movie remains. This is between George and Jere. George, amazing first showing right now at 19 points on the lead. Jere right behind at 18 points. Liz at 5, Lloyd at 3.
I love it. This is how it was the last time, Lloyd. I think you and I were buddied up in the back.
I'll take it.
Lloyd, you get to pick the last movie.
Wonderful.
Would you like a movie from 1997, 2013, or 2020?
Given the kind of mood that I'm in right now, 2020.
2020. Ending the night with another new movie. Final movie of the night. Let's see how this goes. For 5 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking. At points throughout the film, characters are seen drinking in a bar. Alcohol is seen in glasses during a wedding scene. Okay, for 4 points under profanity. Not in all songs, but in a lot. There are a lot of cuss words, but nothing too bad. Liz and Jere have both buzzed in, possibly to end this game. George, Lloyd, anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Jere, what do you think this movie is?
Hamilton?
Liz, what do you think this movie is?
Hamilton?
The filmed production of Hamilton?
Yes.
Is that a movie? It is the 113th greatest movie of all time, is what it is. This is Hamilton.
Of course it is. Those motherfucking Hamill stands. I just can't.
What number?
113.
It's okay, Lloyd. Stay away from the window. Life will go on.
Lloyd, stay with us.
One of the greatest movies of all time is a filmed performance of the Broadway show.
Not in the top 100, Lloyd. It's okay. This list has made Lloyd into the video for Torn.
Well, to wrap that up, what a disappointing movie to end on.
It's not even a movie.
Top 50, and Hamilton doesn't even make the top 100. Dad, do you hear this shit? I know you want to, but I gotta tell you this.
Lloyd.
Oh my God. I can't.
Well, to wrap that up, under sex and nudity, sexual suggestive dialogue is said at various times, including words like intercourse and deflower. A man is playfully referred to as the tomcat.
Oh God, not the tomcat.
Violence and gore.
Explicit.
Violence and gore, the battle scenes are not portrayed as violent as they are only expressed through dance. And violence and gore, as this is the film of a theatrical production, all of the war and battle scenes are minimally depicted and mostly narrated. Nothing more than blood and wounding are described. No prop blood is ever used. That, again, was the 113th best movie of all time, Hamilton.
Stop saying it.
This was Inappropriate Movie Database. Our final scores tonight. Lloyd at 3 points, Liz at 9, George, like I said, amazing first run at 19 points, but Jere taking away at the end with 22 points, making Jere the winner tonight. Lloyd, I'm so sorry for everything I did to you tonight.
Oh my gosh, like the psychological trauma that you've inflicted on Lloyd.
Lloyd, can I tell you about the music of my people? It's called jazz.
If you film it, it'll be in the top 250.
Just put it on YouTube.
Uh-huh. Well,
If
before
Hamilton
we go,
can be a movie, anything can be a movie.
I know.
I want it on the record that I'm 6 times as great as Lloyd.
before we go, if there is anything you want to promote, anywhere you want to be found, or just any last words, Lloyd, do you have anything left in you?
Yeah, I'd love to give you my last words right now, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I can be found, hopefully after tonight, at Lloyd Legacy 617 on what's the social, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. If that's your thing. If it's not, fine, don't start. I'm gonna be in Auburn, Maine tomorrow at the Craft Brew Underground. It's 7:00 again. If I don't take the leap, and you should be there. And just find me online for everything else. And I'm gonna get some water.
Lloyd, thank you. Look out for our new spin-off series. Nick reads Lloyd the top 250 of IMDb, and Lloyd tries to find the will to live.
I would watch that though. That sounds so good.
That would be a really good podcast idea.
I want to make a recommendation. I think you should have another version of this where it's the top 250 lowest rated movies on Rotten Tomatoes and see if any of this shit ends up there where it should be.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think any of these are going to be the lowest of Rotten Tomatoes.
That's fair, but yeah.
but also go back and watch the episode. It was, tens of episodes ago, but we did do bad movies, and a lot of movies in the bottom 250 of IMDb did show up in that episode. Some of these movies maybe should be in there.
Yeah, I can think of one.
Lloyd, thank you so much. Liz.
Follow me at Liz Estey on Instagram for baking and sometimes pictures of me. Follow me on Twitter at Liz Estey for just chaos. You could find me on Facebook. I try not to spend time there for my mental health. And find me in life, I guess, if you want to talk. I have been on quite a journey of dating during the pandemic. So yeah, people are weird. And when I say that, I mean men specifically. Specifically the men I've been dating. They're very weird people. So thanks. And I, will eventually make a return to comedy. So I'll put that on whatever one of those things is. Thanks, Nick, as always, the auspicious host.
Liz, thank you, as always. The wonderful Liz Estey. George.
You can follow me on Instagram at George Newton Comedy. Me and Lloyd will both be at the Hotel Vernon in Worcester on March 26th, and we can guarantee that the show will be at least as good as Whiplash.
Yeah, please. I assume you're just going to recreate one of the scenes. George, an absolute delight. Thank you for being on the show. Finally, our winner, Jere.
I think first off, George, you've got to try to recreate the Phantom Zone Prince edition that Lloyd's living in. for his set, just for his part of the show. So for where you can find me, I am on Letterboxd and filmsims.com. Letterboxd, my handle is Swing Dingling. Twitter, my handle is Swing Dingling. I tweet about anything. We've been watching Gilmore Girls: A Year in the Life. I've been tweeting about that a little bit. Let's see. I'm on Twitch as Swing Dingling as well. On Tuesdays, I try to play through a little bit of right now it's Persona 4. I'm gonna do some RPGs. And I am Mr. _ Swing Dingling on Instagram because somebody fucking took the good one.
Well, thank you all for doing this. This was so much fun. Once again, George Newton, Jere Pilapil, Liz Estey, Lloyd, Legacy Sharp. I'm Nick Martucci. You can find me on all social media at Blundering Idiom. Find the show on Facebook and at Inappropriate Movie Database. Join the group there. Click the link in the description of this video if you don't want to search for it. Find it on Twitter and Instagram at IMDb Game. Like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. We normally do this show Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're skipping this Monday night, so please tune in next Thursday. It's St. Patrick's Day, I know that, but we're going to do one of these anyway. We're going to do movies that feature Oscar-nominated or winning Best Actress performances. So that should be fun. Jared's going to be on that. If you're watching this and you think this looks fun, please reach out to me. I want to have you on the show. Like I said, we've got a very limited amount of space left in March, but we're going to keep this going as long as people keep watching and agreeing to do it. So please look out on all of those places for upcoming dates. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm so happy that people keep doing it. And I hope you will watch more. Thank you and goodbye.